For countless generations, people have gazed up at the moon, their eyes filled with wonder and curiosity, asking themselves what secrets it might hold. They dreamed of visiting it, imagining what it would be like to stand on its surface, to touch the unreachable. The moon inspired stories, songs, poems, and endless curiosity. It became a muse for artists and a mystery for scientists. It seemed unreachable, a distant, glowing mystery hanging above us like a lantern in the night sky, always just out of reach. But sometimes the wildest dreams can come true with courage, imagination, and relentless determination. Scientists and engineers began to ask, how can we get there? They studied gravity, built rockets, and pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. They faced countless failures, but with each setback, they learned, improved, and grew stronger in their resolve. The idea of sending a person to the moon became the ultimate challenge, a test of human ingenuity and spirit. In the 1950s and 60s, space travel captured the world's imagination. News of rockets and astronauts filled headlines and living rooms everywhere. Children dreamed of becoming astronauts, building model rockets and pretending to explore the stars. The moon became a symbol of the future, a beacon of hope and possibility for generations to come. The dream of the moon united people everywhere, crossing borders and cultures, bringing humanity together in a shared vision. It wasn't just about one country, it was about all of us, driven by curiosity, the urge to explore, and the desire to achieve the impossible. The moon was the next great unknown, the vast ocean waiting to be crossed, calling out to the explorers within us all. This shared dream brought people together, inspiring them to reach higher, to work side by side, and to believe in something greater than themselves. The impossible was about to become possible. The countdown had begun. The dream of the moon would soon become reality, changing how we saw ourselves and our place in the universe forever. The journey to the moon was about to begin, a journey that would inspire generations and prove that no dream is too big. It would take more than hope. It would take science, innovation, and the courage to face the unknown. Teamwork, dedication, and bravery would be essential for success. The world was ready to take its first step into the universe. The moon was waiting, and humanity was prepared to answer its call. And so, with hearts full of hope and eyes fixed on the stars, humanity was about to answer the call and make history. After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the world's two superpowers, locked in a fierce rivalry that would shape the second half of the 20th century. This global contest, known as the Cold War, was not fought on traditional battlefields but through political maneuvering, military buildups, and technological competition. Their competition extended far beyond Earth's surface, into the vast unknown of space. This became known as the space race, a dramatic struggle for technological supremacy and national pride. In 1957, the USSR shocked the world by launching Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. This tiny beeping sphere orbited the planet, sending a clear message: the Soviets were leading the way in space technology. Just a few years later, in 1961, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to journey into outer space, circling the Earth and returning safely. The world watched in awe as history was made. The United States suddenly found itself trailing behind, facing intense pressure to catch up and prove its own capabilities. In response, President John F. Kennedy issued a bold challenge to the nation to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade was out. This ambitious goal would require unprecedented effort and innovation. At that time, America's experience in space was limited. The country had only just begun sending astronauts into orbit, and the technology needed for a moon landing was still a distant dream, but the challenge was accepted with determination. Across the nation, scientists, engineers, and astronauts dedicated themselves to the cause, working tirelessly to turn the impossible into reality. The race to the moon was officially underway. Thousands of brilliant minds collaborated, inventing new technologies, designing powerful rockets, and solving problems no one had ever encountered before. Every setback was met with renewed resolve. The space race pushed the boundaries of science and engineering, driving innovation at a pace never seen before. But this competition was about more than just politics or military might. It was about inspiring humanity and proving what people could achieve when united by a common goal. The finish line was clear: the surface of the moon, a place no human had ever set foot. Around the globe, millions watched with anticipation, as the two superpowers raced to make history, their every move broadcast to an eager world. The countdown to the greatest adventure in human history had begun, and the world held its breath, waiting to see who would reach the moon first. To reach the moon, you need a rocket unlike any other, a machine so powerful and complex that it would change the course of history. The dream of sending humans to the moon required not just ambition, but technology on a scale never seen before. The United States built the Saturn V, the most powerful rocket ever made, a true giant of the space age. Its engines thundered with the force of millions of horsepower, making it the only rocket capable of carrying astronauts beyond Earth's orbit. Taller than a 36-story building, it was a marvel of engineering and human ingenuity. Standing over 363 feet high, it dwarfed everything around it, inspiring awe in all who saw it. The Saturn V had 3 stages, each designed to push the spacecraft higher and faster, working together in perfect sequence. Each stage was a masterpiece, built to ignite, burn, and then fall away as the rocket soared upward. The first stage lifted the rocket off the ground, unleashing a fiery blast that shook the Earth and sent the Saturn V skyward. The second carried it to the edge of space, accelerating the spacecraft faster and higher, piercing through the atmosphere. The third sent it toward the moon, giving the final push needed to escape Earth's gravity and begin the long journey across the void. At the very top was the Apollo spacecraft, made up of 2 main parts, the command module called Columbia and the lunar module named Eagle. These were the astronauts' home and their vehicle for landing on the moon. Columbia was home for the astronauts, it was their control center, their shelter, and the only part that would return to Earth. Eagle would land on the moon carrying 2 astronauts down to the lunar surface, while Columbia orbited above, waiting for their return. Every part of the Saturn V was built for one purpose, to send humans to another world. Its engines, tanks, and guidance systems were all designed with precision and care, pushing the limits of what was possible. It took the work of hundreds of thousands, engineers, scientists, technicians, and workers, each contributing their skills and dedication to make the dream a reality. The Saturn V was ready. The world was watching, holding its breath as the moment of launch approached. The greatest journey in human history was about to begin. The countdown had started, and humanity stood on the edge of a new frontier, ready to take its first steps beyond Earth. On July 16, 1969, 3 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, launched atop the Saturn V. The world watched as the rocket thundered into the sky. The journey to the moon took 3 days and covered nearly 400,000 kilometers. Inside the cramped command module, the astronauts worked, ate, and floated in zero gravity. They checked systems, navigated, and communicated with mission control. Out the window, Earth shrank to a blue marble in the darkness. One critical maneuver, Columbia separated, turned, and docked with the lunar module Eagle. Michael Collins performed this delicate task perfectly. With the 2 spacecraft joined, the crew continued their silent journey through space. The moon grew larger in their window. The moment of truth was near. Humanity was about to reach another world. After 3 days, Apollo 11 entered lunar orbit. Armstrong and Aldrin moved into the Eagle. Collins stayed in Columbia, circling the moon alone. The Eagle began its descent, but alarms sounded. Its computer was overloaded. Mission control determined it was safe to continue. Armstrong saw the computer was guiding them toward a dangerous, rocky area. With fuel running low, he took manual control, searching for a safe landing spot. Aldrin called out altitude and fuel. 60 seconds! Armstrong calmly steered over rocks and craters, looking for a clear place. With just seconds of fuel left, the Eagle touched down. "Contact light," Aldrin said. Armstrong shut down the engine. Then, his voice crackled over the radio. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." Mission control erupted in relief and joy. Humans were on the moon. The impossible had become reality. The world celebrated together. After landing, Armstrong and Aldrin checked their systems, then prepared for history. Armstrong climbed down the ladder, watched by over 500 million people. He stepped onto the moon and said, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." Aldrin joined him, both amazed by the strange, silent world. The moon's gravity let them bounce and move in slow motion. They planted the American flag, set up experiments, and collected rocks. They left a seismometer, a solar wind collector, and a laser reflector, tools for science back on Earth. President Nixon called them from the White House, marking the most distant phone call in history. For 2.5 hours they explored, worked, and marveled at the view. They were not just Americans, they were representatives of all humanity. Their footprints marked the first steps on another world. The world watched in awe. Armstrong and Aldrin collected 22 kilograms of moon rocks and soil. Scientists back on Earth were eager to study them. The rocks revealed the moon's age, over 4.5 billion years, and its volcanic past. They contained no water, no signs of life, and were unlike most rocks on Earth. The seismometer detected moonquakes, showing the moon was not completely dead inside. These discoveries changed our understanding of the solar system. The leading theory: the moon formed when a Mars-sized object collided with Earth, sending debris into orbit. The Apollo samples supported this idea. A few rocks opened a new chapter in our knowledge of the cosmos. The moon was no longer a mystery. It was a world we could study and understand. The journey had changed science forever. After 21 hours on the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin blasted off in the Eagle's ascent stage. They reunited with Collins in Columbia, leaving the Eagle behind. The 3 astronauts fired their engines, setting course for Earth. The return trip was filled with relief and anticipation. As Earth grew larger in their window, they prepared for re-entry. Columbia hit the atmosphere at nearly 40,000 kilometers per hour, surrounded by a ball of fire. A special heat shield protected them from the intense heat. For several minutes, radio contact was lost, a tense blackout. Then 3 parachutes opened, slowing their descent. On July 24, 1969, Columbia splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. The astronauts were safe. The world cheered their return. The mission was complete. Apollo 11 was more than a victory in the space race. It was a triumph for all humanity. People everywhere watched, united in wonder. The view of Earth from space inspired a new sense of responsibility for our planet. Apollo's legacy lives on in technology, science, and the spirit of exploration. The mission inspired generations to dream bigger and reach farther. Over 400,000 people made the moon landing possible, showing what we can achieve together. The footprints on the moon remain, a silent reminder of our first steps beyond Earth. Today, new missions are being planned to return to the moon and go even farther. The spirit of Apollo encourages us to keep exploring. The journey did not end in 1969. The next giant leap awaits. The stars are calling, and humanity is ready to answer.